Welcome to our Monday night shiur, Chaf Aleph Cheshvan. The day after the Hillula, Rav.Mordechai Sharabi, Amen. And we're calling this the Hillula of Rav.Mordechai Sharabi. This is what it is. Even though his yortzai is Chaf Cheshvan, but we're doing it on Chaf Aleph Cheshvan to coincide with our shiur. And zchut, especially the zchut to make a Hillula for this Sadiq is very great. What the Lubavitcher Rebbe was for the American Jewry, Rav.Mordechai Sharabi was for the Israeli Jewry. Mamash. Pshuto k'mashma'o. Both of them lived to very old ages, helped many Jews, created many Jewish institutions, and both never had children. But Mordechai Sharabi didn't have a child. The Lubavitcher Rebbe. He also never had children. And both passed away not far away from each other. And both left many successors. What could we say about this Sadiq to be me'orer his zechut? Rav Nachman of Breslev writes in Likutei Moharan, when you're me'orer the zechut of a Sadiq, it is as if you're mit'asek b'ma'aseh hamerkava, in the chariot of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Really, the Torah is split, pshat, the simplistic part of the Torah, remez, which we dub the Mishnah, drash, which is Gemara, and sod. Sod is known throughout the world as Kabbalah, Torah Kabbalah. What does the word Kabbalah mean? To accept. Because the Kabbalist is the most selfish person in the world. Because the truth is, in reality, the more you give is the more you get. And he understands that. He understands that. So he's the biggest giver, but in reality, he's the biggest receiver. And the second reason why it's called Chokhmat Kabbalah, because the first letter of Kabbalah is the letter Kuf. Kuf is a very interesting letter. The Ariya teaches us it's really the letter Hey. But the leg went down into the Klippa. That's why the first letter of Klippa, which is impurity, impure forces, is what? Kuf. And that's why the only letter that's not inside LeDavid Barchi Nafshi Hashem is what? The letter Kuf. It's not there. Why? We're too afraid to awaken the letter Kuf inside the Mizmor when we do Nefilat Apayim. We don't say after when we do Vidur, we do the David Alecha Hashem. There's no letter Kuf. It's under the Aleph Bet. There's no Kuf over there. Nun is there. Kuf is not there. In Ashrei, Kuf is there, but Nun is not there. I have to understand what's the difference. It's different worlds. So the Kabbalah, the reason why it starts with the letter Kuf, because it has the power for a person to go deep inside the Klippa and come out unharmed. It's a natural repellent. I remember a story that I read about Rabbi Yehuda Fatiya in Shar Drushe Atzelem in Etz HaChaim in Bethlehem, Yehuda. He was always praying for Mashiach Tzidkenu. And he writes that one time he prayed so much, he passed away in 1941, 1942. The beginning of the Holocaust. He was in Eretz Yisrael at that time. He was the Gilgul. That's what they say about him. There's a rabbi in the Gemara that his name is Rav Yehuda Bar Yecheskel. He writes in the Gemara, you're not allowed to move from outside of Israel to Israel. You have to stay in outside. Yeah, you gotta stay outside. That's what he writes. Rav Yehuda Bar Yecheskel. He was the Rosh Yeshiva of Iraq. He got the Shmuot the halachot, also from Shmuel and also from Rav. Not in that order. He was the greatest. He's the only rabbi in the Gemara that the Gemara says his Torah was his work. That's what kind of level he was. And he said that you're not allowed to move to Israel. You got to stay in Bavel. He was in Iraq. He said you got to stay in Iraq. You can't move. To the point where his rabbis his students were afraid to ask him permission, a blessing to move. To that point. How many times the Gemara he says you're not allowed to move outside of Israel? 3 times. Rabbi Ptaya, how many times did it take him to move from Iraq to Eretz Yisrael? 3 times. His name was Yehuda. So there is a shmu'ah, a rumor that Rabbi Ptaya was the Gilgul, a nitzotz at least, of Rabbi Yehuda bar Yecheskel, the famous Rabbi Yehuda inside the Gemara. Not to be confused with the Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah, which is Rabbi Yehuda bar Ilai, which almost halacha kimoto, kimat, almost bechol makom, especially in Hilchot Shabbat. Even neged Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. Okay, this is already getting into klalim, into general rules of the... Let's not get too deep. Rabbi Ptaya once had a dream. He sees himself going inside the klipa, inside the Samech Mem itself. Inside. When does that happen? It happens every midnight. When we do Tikkun Chatzot. He sees himself going inside. And inside the Samech Mem is bags of Nishamot. The Gemara says in Masechet Nida, Mashiach won't come until the bags, the treasure chests, will all be empty. Those were those treasure chests. This story happened 90 years ago, 80 years ago. And he goes inside with the Samech Mem, inside that place. He goes inside him. And he empties, and he sees all the bags are what? Empty. They're all empty. Efo Mashiach. But you know, when you take a bag of rice and you empty out all the rice, you know, deep inside the bag, there is those crumbs, the kernels that are stuck deep inside. You know those bags? Yeah. Those kernels? That's what's left. The toughest of the toughest nishamot, that's what's stuck inside. Until today, Rabbi Ptaya writes, that's what we're fixing. That's what we're taking out. Those tough nishamot. But my question is to you guys, why am I bringing this up? What koach did Rabbi Ptaya have to go deep inside the Samech Mem? He mamash went inside. I remember the first time I read the story, I was maybe 19, 18. I was shocked out of my mind. I don't see anyone shocked over here. It's okay. Maybe you guys have goosebumps, but I remember I was shocked. I found the source. I'm like, wow, we're really that close? Okay, no. People get crazy. This guy he died and came back to life. He saw God throwing him keys. This one that. This one died and came back. He was dead for 2 minutes. And then he came back. And then he saw Mashiach and he was with the same beard. This is okay. But when Rabbi Ptaya says that we went deep inside Bethlehem Yehuda, he went inside deep inside Achmev, and he saw the bags of the Nishamot, and there were only deep Nishamot left. No, this is... Mamash. Olam hafuch raiti. Mamash olam hafuch. People are looking for skaska. They're looking for inspiration. I was once in a place, and certain persons, like it was Motzei Shabbat. He said, "What's inspirational right now? I could see, or we could go." Inspiration. Your life, the fact that you're breathing is inspirational. There's I won't get into it. So what power did Rabbi Ptaya have to go deep inside the Klippa? Kabbalah. He had the power of Torah Hasod. The power of Kabbalah. He was, because Kuf against Kuf. And I want to tell you, Ariel, our job is to turn the Kuf back into what? A Hey. That's why, what's the third letter in Tzedakah? Tzedakah. The letter Kuf. And the Rashash, R.Shalom Sharabi says, before you give Tzedakah, one of the things you have to say is that the Kuf should turn back into what? A hay. Wow, I should have caused a shock. Unfortunately, that's the power of Torah Hasod. Now I want to tell you guys something. Today we're celebrating and we're remembering the zchut of someone who didn't have children. Nobody was left to say Kaddish for him. Not that he needed anyone's Kaddish. But, trust me, there are more people doing a yortzeit for this man today than a person who has 20 descendants and takes out the biggest hall, the nicest hall in the world. How do I know? Yesterday I saw with my own eyes a live feed from Yeshivat Nahar R.Shalom in Yerushalayim. I'm going to explain to you the significance of this yeshiva, where this R.Mordechai Sharabi opened up this yeshiva in his own hands in Machane Yehuda. You guys know where Machane Yehuda is? When the kids go to Yerushalayim for a year after high school, you tell them one piece of advice: don't go to Machane Yehuda. He opened the yeshiva in the middle of Times Square of Yerushalayim. Yeshivat, not regular yeshiva, Yeshivat Mekubalim. Where there are people today, minyanim al gabi minyanim, of people doing kavanot of the Rashash and living in the way of the. And I was there. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories. First of all, who was Rav.Mordechai Sharabi? We gave you this whole introduction of Torah Kabbalah, Torah Sod. Rav Ovadia Yosef, who is, your side was Gimel Cheshvan, said to Rav Benayahu Shmueli, Yachid bedoro betorat hasod. I heard this from the mouth of Rav Benayahu Shmueli himself. Yachid bedoro betorat hasod. One in a generation in Torah Sod. And who was the generation he was living in? Rav Ovadia Hadaye, Chacham Ephraim HaKohen, all the tzaddikim nistarim that we know of the previous generations. He was Yachid in his generation in their times. You know who Rav Ovadia Hadaye is? You know who he is? He has one of the greatest Shelot V'Tshuvot in the Torah of the Sod, in the secrets of the Torah. You know what it's called? De'ava Asker. I looked many places till I found this book. Many places. You know what kind of answers and questions there? On one question, he can have 4 pages giving you answer over there. And not a regular answer. He'll explain to you the kishkas. We're doing chasadim gvurot over here. We're mixing Ashkenazim with Faradim. The kishkas of the sugiyah and Torah Tasod of the Rashash, the innards. And when he came to Rav Mordechai Sharabi, he used to put his hat down. Rav Ovadia Hadaye. You know who his father was? Rav Ovadia Hadaye? R.Shalom Hadaye. You know who he was? R.Shalom Hadaye? Wow. He used to sit with the Rashash and learn Kabbalah in the old Yeshivat Bet El in Yerushalayim before the Jordanians broke it down. You know who I'm talking about over here? And R.Shalom Hadaye, the father of Ali Hadaye, was a Gilgul, a Nitzot of the Malbim. That's what I saw in one sefer. He was a Nitzot of the Malbim. Who's the Malbim? One of the greatest Ashkenazi commentators on all the Nevi'im and Ketuvim. He came back in a Gilgul just to learn Torah Sod. Unbelievable.
Switch games.
I'm remembering our classes over here. We started out with 20 guys, then it went down to 15, then to 10. Now we have Sridim Bakodesh. We have the last remnants. We're holding it on in Shara Nikudim. We're like, no, we're not ready. You learn once a week this, then you want to go to another shiur. You learn over there how much you want. What's the shaykhs? You know? No, my Rav said. The Rav can say what's up. Could say till tomorrow. You gotta learn everything. The Malbim was R.Shalom Hadaye, Hakadosh. And Rav Ovadia, his son Rav Ovadia Hadaye, when the Jordanians, Yimach Shemam v'Zichram, when they burned down Yerushalayim, destroyed Yeshivat Porat Yosef, of the making of the great Ben Ish Chai and Ben Zion Chazan, and the great senior of Yosef Shalom, when they broke down the Porat Yosef, and all the rare manuscripts of Yitzhak Kaduri, inside Porat Yosef, they burned everything down. And they destroyed also Yeshivat Mekubalim Beit El, the Yeshivat that the Rashash HaKadosh taught in, the Jordanians destroyed. There was not a brick left in Yerushalayim of that yeshiva. Not a brick. You hear what I'm saying?
What year is this?
This is 1960. When was the Jordanian? The 6 Day War. 67. 67. Not a brick was left of Yeshivat Beit El. Not a brick. Not a brick of Yeshivat Porat Yosef. Not a brick was left over there. Everything was burned down to the ground. But the Jordanians, the Muslims across the Jordan is Esav, by the way. You know that, right? That's where Esav used to live. There were two men. First was Rav.Mordechai Sharabi. He said, in Yerushalayim, since the time of Rav Gedalia Chayun. Zecher Tzaddik Livracha. Who remembers Rav Gedalia Chayun? Who remembers him, guys? Who remembers the Tzaddikim? Only a couple of places in the world, Gabriel, who come on Yom Kippur and they say Hashkavot for all the Tzaddikim. They mention these Tzaddikim. You're Zocher to be in one of those places, you know that? Rav Gedalia Chayun, who opened up Yeshivat Bet El, the father-in-law of the Rashash. Since his time, until the Jordanian War in 1967, there was always a minyan of Mekubalim in Yerushalayim doing kavanot. 1967 comes, catastrophe. Jews are dying, war, blood. Rav.Mordechai Sharabi takes 10 students. You're listening to me, guys? He takes 10 students. Nobody knows who he is yet. He takes them to Yerushalayim. He opens up his first yeshiva in a basement. He calls it R.Shalom. He says, in Yerushalayim, we'll never stop Mekavnim. There has to be 10 men doing kavanot in Yerushalayim. Avraham, you listening? Yeah. There has to be 10 men doing kavanot in Yerushalayim. He brings them to Yerushalayim. He does the kavanot. The war stops. The Satan doesn't want Mekavnim. Al PM, he doesn't want kavanot. He doesn't want people to do kavanot. Avodat Hashem. Krum Zulut Livnei Adam. Masechet Berachot. What is this Zulut Livnei Adam? Zot Tfilah. The Olat Tamid of Rav Chaim Vital says, what's the main tikkun in our generation? Tefillah. I was doing an amazing limud last night. Maybe we're going to reveal it on Shabbat. What's going to be revealed during the time of the Atid Lavo. Unbelievable things. Rav.Mordechai Sharabi, when he was 9 years old, he was a yatom. You know what a yatom is?
A widow.
Smack him, please, afterwards. He was an orphan. How did he grow up? Rav Chaim Sinvani. You know what Rav Chaim Sinvani is? Rosh Lamed Vav Tzadikim. Rosh Lamed Vav Tzadikim. This is Rav Chaim Sinvani right here. This is Rav Chaim Sinvani. He saw Rav.Mordechai Sharabi going to work. He said, this boy over here, his neshama is gonna be mashu. He took him and he raised him. Rav Chaim Sinvani raised Rav.Mordechai Sharabi right here. This is the book. This was in Sharab. In Sharab, in Teman. By the age 15 years old, I'm going to tell you something scary right now. I don't want you guys to be upset and start making new shiurim over here. Kol echad lefi ito bizmano. Rav.Mordechai Sharabi at the age of 15 was tested by Chachmei Teman in the city of Sharab. Listening over here? Shulchan Aruch, Arba Chalkei Shulchan Aruch. He was tested on all the Mishnah Torah of the Rambam. And he passed with flying colors, and he had smicha at the age of 15 by all Chachmei Sharab in Teman. And Rav Benayahu Shmueli says this: Did you hear this when he was there? No. I was there when he said that. Rav Shmueli said, I once asked Rav.Mordechai Sharabi, what was his zchut? How did he get this phenomenal, at the age of 15, he was able, I had a recent question of interest. And interest is not a question you come along every single day. So I said, I'm going to review the laws of interest. Rabotai, I got to the third seif, in the second siman, my brain was blowing up. My brain was blowing up already. I couldn't. Maybe it was late at night. I'm giving myself kappa sachut over here, but you know what this halchot repeat. He knew arba chelkei shulchan aruch with Mishneh. You know what Mishneh Torah is? The whole Torah at the age of 15. He got smicha from Chachamei Sharabi. You know what he told Rabbi Shmueli? He says, I don't have a phenomenal memory. Amara Baba. Every time I learned something, I did chazara 60 times.
Repetition.
60. I'm telling you, I'm not making this number up. This you could test me on. 60 times.
He did the same thing 60.
What's the number 60 come from? Huh? He never missed a minute. I've read stories of Mordechai Sharabi. He used to have a shamash sleep in his house in Yerushalayim. This is when he was elderly already. He was sleeping. He used to tell him, he used to go to sleep around 10 o'clock. He used to say, wake me up at Chatzot, a minute before Chatzot, midnight, so I could wake up. Wow. Because the Mekubalim, I'm going to reveal you guys a secret tonight. Yes or no? But don't do this. Don't do this. Because I'm going to get in trouble. Avram, I'm going to get in trouble. Alright? The Rashash says a person could stop many evil things in his life by saying Berchot HaShachar at midnight. The morning blessings, if he says them minus Berchot HaTorah, not Berchot HaTorah, the first 18, if he says those 18 blessings at midnight, many evil things in his life, he stops. That means right now it's 11:45. If you're awake at 11:45, 11:40 you say Kriyat Shema Lamita. The Rashash says at 11:40, the closer to midnight you say Kriyat Shema Lamita, the more bad things that you created by Din Zera Vatala. I don't want to say that word, but I said it just for the one time when I say it. From now on I'm going to say that Avera. For that Avera you kill. The more closer to midnight, the more you kill. And at midnight if you say Berchot HaShachar, what are you doing at that moment? You're not allowing the Shekhinah, which is the last letter Hey of God's name, to turn into a Kuf. You're keeping it at a letter Hey. There's no Achiza B'Klipa. Baboker אתה הולך לישון, it's כמו שאתה הולך לישון ביום. It's like you're sleeping in the day. You don't have to say Berchot HaShachar. You're sleeping during the day.
Wait, do you go to sleep after that?
Yeah. You can go to sleep as much as you want.
You sure to say it?
Huh? You don't say anything again. That's why, guys, don't do this. Don't practice this. Why? Because before you practice this, you have to ask me what's the halachic ramifications.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because I don't want you to say Berachot Levat Hara. Because even the Ben Ish Chai writes in his Sefer, don't do this. Because don't do this because people do Berachot Levat Hara. It's not Shayach. Do Berachot Levat Hara just because you want to do Mekayim de Rashash. It's not Shayach. And it's not easy too. The Yetzirah plays a lot with a person. You're going to try to do this, suddenly 11:30 is going to come. It's a good sigula to fall asleep, by the way. I just know. It's a good sigula to fall asleep. Anyways. Are you with me, Ariel? You're with me. Okay. So the Rav.Mordechai Sharabi used to... he wants to wake up to say Berachot HaShachar. Lefi minhag mekubalim. We're not mekubalim, guys. Don't jump the gun. You're only up to Shara and Nikudim. So please, relax. You have a long ways to go. Okay, hold your horses. And one of his shamashim writes in this book, this Seif Derech Tzadikim, he says, we used to go to sleep at 11:40, let's say it's Chatzot, 10 minutes later. Is it time yet? He's telling the shamash in his room, is it time yet to wake up? No, go back to sleep, really. Is it time yet? 5 minutes later. No, go back to sleep. He wouldn't go to sleep. 11:39, wake up. He used to wake up, wash his hands. He used to wear his jomeh, the lefi minhag temanim. He used to say Berachot HaShachar. Berachot HaShachar tikun chatzot bedem'a. He used to say it with tears. He used to cry as if he just saw Korban Beit HaMikdash. every night, as if. You know what kind of madrigot gvohot that is? And you just got the goosebumps. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was looking for. Did you just see that? He just got goosebumps. Rav.Mordechai Sharabi every single night. Now, that's Rav.Mordechai Sharabi. You know what Baba Sali, once his wife said about what Baba Sali's wife said about him? So the one time I caught him doing Tikkun Chatzot. She said, I thought he spilled water on the floor.
Who, Baba Sali?
The Baba Sali. She said, I thought he spilled water on the floor. Can I tell you another sigula? Limshoch chen v'chesed. Limshoch chen v'chesed. For your whole day. If you put on your alarm clock, and I'm going to tell you the truth, you could wake up every day at 5 o'clock. When you're going to start doing this, you're going to see the Satan is going to play you, he's going to knock you out. If you're going to put your alarm clock over here for 5 o'clock, and Alot HaShachar, let's say, is 5:30, and you give yourself a word to say B'chot HaShachar and learn Torah from till 5:31. According to the Zohar HaKadosh, ולפי הארי והרש"ש וכל המקובלים הקדושים והטהורים שמאז בריאת העולם ועד היום, you're ממשיך חוט של חסד to your whole day. Whatever you're going to do on that day, תצלח.
What do you have to do again?
Wake up at 5 o'clock. No, what time?
Wake up before dawn,
Allah Tashahar.
and learn from that time until after dawn. Tikkun, this is you're giving up on the Tikkun Chatzot over here.
For 5 minutes you could do it.
What's the shit? Can I tell you guys a secret? No, you're getting me into hot water over here, guys. But because it's the Hillula of Mordechai Sharabi and this schut of the sponsor, I'm going to say this. The question was asked. I once asked my Rebbe, and this question is asked also in Kabbalah. What's better to do? Slichot or Tikkun Chatzot? Tikkun Chatzot. This is already Yadua from the Chida. What's better to do? Tikkun Chatzot or Berchot HaShachar at midnight? You're not going to believe what the Mekubalim say. Berchot HaShachar at midnight is more potent than doing Tikkun Chatzot. If somebody asks you where this heard this from, just say Shalom. Shalom said it. But don't try this at home. Because I don't want you guys doing Berchot Levatala.
Unless you know the rules and regulations.
Unless you know the rules or regulations. And you sign you gotta sign the contract over there. Yeah, you know how every time you download an app, you gotta sign the contract over there. Press a check. That's what you gotta do over here too. You gotta sign the rules and regulations, and then we can start doing this, okay?
Please don't come back to us.
Yeah, don't come back. Rav.Mordechai Sharabi HaKadosh, he would never missed in his life, if he edu talmidav, one night where he didn't say Berchot HaShachar, Kriyat Shema Mita, Tikkun Chatzot at midnight.
Wait, which one did first?
Obviously, first he did Kriyat Shema Mita, then Berchot HaShachar, then Tikkun Chatzot. And you guys don't understand the Kiddusha. Let's say you're awake after midnight. You listening or no? Let's say you're awake. You're awake at 12 o'clock. Happens or no? A lot. Take out a book. You're going to see how the Satan is going to fight you. Till the... You know those guys who have to speak through a thing? He's not going to let you do this. You're up at 12 o'clock. It's already after midnight. Take a sefer. Say Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. Say one pasuk of Torah. You're going to see how he's going to fight you.
Is that pasuk?
I'm saying at least. Rabbi Yitzchak de Minako, the student of the Ramban, who wrote a book on all the connections of Hashem's names. One of the highest Kabbalistic books, even more than the Ari, the Chida writes. Right? Even if you say, you're walking to the bus stop and you say, Ve'achot lotan timna, one of the shortest pasuks in the Torah, and about one of the dirtiest people in the Torah, the mother of Amalek. And the sister of Lotan is Timna. In Shema Gedolim, the Chida says every letter is a mitzvah. What are you going to say about that? You're walking to the train. V'achot Lotan Timna. V'reshit v'dishanai. You're doing Limud Torah. It's not a joke, guys. What do we do instead? The Satan found a way to trick the generation. He created something called an iPod or an iPhone. It's an even bigger Satan. You put the thing, you put it in. Nishama, Hamitzvot, the Masim Tovim. Used to be people do it, but they do it when? When they used to walk to the train station. Today, not even that there is.
It's better to do it at night or when in the morning?
Doesn't make a difference when you do it. As long as you do it. Just do it. 5 minutes, 12. Rav Nachman of Breslov writes, the greatest time to do it, what to do is a tikkun chatzot. At midnight. That's what he writes. In the Kutei Moharan, it's a big hitaruta diltata. It's a big awakening of the neshama. Wait, so let's continue. Rav.Mordechai Sharabi was a Sadiq Yesod Olam, and he didn't allow Yerushalayim to not have a yeshiva of Mekubalim, and he opened up R.Shalom. Why did he open up R.Shalom? Why did he call it R.Shalom? R.Shalom, remember, most yeshivat Mekubalim have the word Shalom inside. Why? The word Shalom is the numerical value of Isav. 376. To counter the Klippa of the Roman Empire, you gotta take what's connected in the Kedusha, which is Shalom. That's why, what's the last bracha we say in Shmona Esrei? Hamivarer et Amo Yisrael b'Shalom. And what does the Gemara say? God didn't find a vessel that holds the bracha, but Shalom. Now, when he opened up his yeshiva, there's many stories we could say about him. I'm going to say a couple of things. You should know that Rav.Mordechai Sharabi, I want to say one story, you got to be shocked with this story. If you're not going to be shocked, then I'm going to be shocked for you. How is that? Make sense? Yes. One time, Sadiq, Kadosh, Miluban, Hasid, he used to invite many guests in his house for Shabbat. You should know, the way you act with your guests in this world, that's the way they're going to act with you in Olam Haba.
Not bad.
Now, try inviting a guest that you don't like. Try inviting your mother-in-law. No, I'm kidding.
You can call it anyway.
Can I tell you guys one chidush since I already said that? I was learning in the Etz HaHaim. And it says over there, of Fatiya writes over there. He says after a person passes away, you guys are hearing Razin Timirin right now. Razin Timirin. After a person passes away, depending on his averot, mitzvot, hopefully no kafakela. I don't believe anyone in this room is going to kafakela. I don't believe it. I don't care how many averot you guys did. You guys are not going to kafakela.
But Hillula is worse than Fatiya, no?
That's true. That's true. Excellent. Okay, but we're already here. We're already here, right? There's a plus to Gilgul too. At least you're adding to your mitzvot. You're eating potato, beer. Don't worry, it's good. Listening to Torah. This is the greatest ta'anug your neshama is having right now. Believe me, it's amazing. And after you pass away, so hopefully short stint in Gehenom. Hopefully. If you're lucky, you're going to have some nice descendants who could do some tikkun niftarim. Okay, you pass your short stint in Gehenom. You don't go right away to Gan Eden HaElyon. The Ari HaKadosh explains, first you go to Gan Eden HaTachton. There's a couple of Gan Edens. There's a Gan Eden in the world of Asiyah. There's a Gan Eden in the world of Yitzirah. There's a Gan Eden of the world of Bria. Before you go to the Gan Eden HaElyon, the higher Gan Eden, which is the world of Bria, first you have to go to Gan Eden the Asiyah, which is the lowest Gan Eden, and you have to do over there what your soul was meant to do in Adam HaRishon before the sin.
So there's still work.
There's still work in the Gan Eden HaTachton. Is your mind blowing up right now? My mind is blowing up right now.
I thought it was over.
It wasn't over. It's not over. You have avodah to do. That's what Hashem meant when he said to Adam, Hashem put Adam in Gan Eden le'ovda u'leshomra. To watch it and to keep it. Pardon me.
And this Gan Eden is going to be in this world, correct?
This Gan Eden is a higher plane of existence in Asiyah.
Which is this world.
It's this world.
Adam HaRishon was in Gan Eden.
Hadachton. התחתון.
Would he ever went to Elion?
He never went to Eliot.
Would he have ever?
If he would, yeah. If at that moment he would have done the zivug with Chava after Shabbat came in. The zivug with Chava, Rav Shimon Agassi explains, was not an actual act of intimacy the way we perceive it right now. It was an act in the mind.
Not sure.
That's why it's yada.
What?
That's why it's yada.
Yada, exactly. That's why the Torah, and also in this week's parasha, right? We have the idea that the Avot knew, Avraham knew Sarah. It says he knew her, right? In the mind. It wasn't. And also, when you could create souls of Gerim through knowledge. How does it say by Rabbi Akiva? He used to walk around in the street and create souls of Gerim. Ben Azai used to walk in the shuk, buy food for Shabbat. He used to create souls of Gerim. Zivug, an intimate connection to create souls. It doesn't have to be a physical act. The physicality came into reality after Adam caused it to be that way. That means now our job has to be through something called Klipat Noga. If you want to hear more about this, my shiur on Hoshana Rabbah, which is about 2 hours and plus long, I talk in depth about Klipat Noga, Adam's tikkun in the Klipat Noga, before the Klipat Noga. It's not something I could explain in one sentence or in 2 sentences. It's hours. It's a big thing, and it's a very riveting shiur. Now, where were we before this? So the avodah, a person has avodah in Gan Eden after he passes away. And the avodah that you have in Gan Eden will be similar to the avodah you have in this world right now. I'm going to tell you a secret. The Zohar HaKadosh says in Parashat Acharei Mot, the work that you do right now is the work that you do in Gan Eden. That means if I'm crazy about a certain mitzvah right now, that's my job in Gan Eden. If it's brachot, if it's tzitzit, if it's tefillin, if it's chesed, if it's tzedakah. We see in general that the tzaddikim were very careful with tzedakah. Why? The moment that Sodom v'Amorah, Sodom and Gomorrah, decided no more tzedakah was the day that they sealed their death sentence. Sometimes tzaddikim give tzedakah for other people too. Because tzedakah, like I said, it's really an opposite world. The more you give is really the more you get. And we gotta change that kuf, that kuf, into a hey. We gotta change it back. We can't leave it as a kuf. And that's the secret of 100 blessings a day. Those are 100 blessings is what? It's a kuf. 100 in Hebrew is kuf. We gotta change it back into a hey of chamisha chumshei Torah. And how do we give tzedakah? You should give it with all your fingers. Anyways, one day, R.Mordechai Sharabi, Zecher Livracha, he was sitting, and like I said, one of the biggest mitzvot that you do, the way they're going to accept you in Gan Eden, is the way that you accept guests in this world. Hachnasat orchim is a big mitzvah. Sometimes it's hard. Remember, halachically, guys, you have to ask your wife before you invite guests. You can't just invite guests. Здравствуйте, I brought guests to the house.
Does your wife have to ask you permission?
Of course.
Oh.
It's a two-way street, guys. This is not a one-way street. I don't know what you guys been listening to. Midbar Matana goes both ways. Just the question is, did she hear the Midbar Matana too? Right? So you invite guests to your house. Mordechai Sharabi didn't have any kids. He used to invite guests to his house every Shabbat. One day, he invites a very prominent Ashkenazic Rosh Yeshiva to his house for Shabbat. Aram, you listening?
Oh, yeah, my wife. Yeah.
I'm talking to the other Aram, but you too. He invites him, and the Ashkenazim have a minhag, some of them, not all of them, that the men sit on a separate table, and the women sit on a separate table. But Mordechai Sharabi, Sfaradi Taor, everyone was sitting on the same table. So he tells his, the Rav, Rosh Yeshiva, he sees Gabriel, that's what you were telling me before. Sometimes you have to know when to say something and not to say something. Sometimes it's better not to say anything at all. So he tells R.Mordechai Sharabi, Harav, זה לא צניעות. The men go on the separate table, on the separate table. R.Mordechai Sharabi was a very, he was a comical man. He had a sense of humor. So he tells the Ashkenazi, yeah, that's Sadiq. He had a very thick Yemenite accent. Thick. There is a couple of recordings of him on YouTube, if you want. A couple of shiurim that he gave on Parashat, I think, one of the Parashat, Vayakel Pikudei, or the Mishkan. So he makes a table, or Mordechai himself gets up, makes a table, and he moves the plates, he makes plates in the table, and he goes to the Ashkenaz Yeshiva, he says, you can move Kvodo to the next Kodarav. You can now go to the next table. We're fine over here. If you want to sit at the next table, Kol HaKavod. This is R.Mordechai Sharabi. See, a little humanity. It's not just about brachot, Yeshua. I could tell you a million stories about him in brachot v'Yeshua that he did. Hatzlachot. I'm telling you, he was mamash like the Lubavitcher Rebbe of Israel. It was the Yeshua. One last thing. He used to, people today don't do this. Rabbis say don't do this. He used to have a kahal, people coming in for blessings, this for free, every morning and every night. It's a lot of baggage, today, rabbis, they put people on block because sometimes it gets too much. So he used to give, mamash, hundreds of people used to come to his shul, hundreds. Brachot, Yeshuot. And one time there was one Ashkenazi guy, he needed a zivug or a zera bar kayama. And he came to ask the rabbi for a blessing. And Ashkenazi boy, he knows one thing. Gemara, Mishnah, gotta learn Torah every second. Emet. So he was standing in the Chatzer, in the courtyard, and he sees like 100 people over there waiting. He's like, I'm gonna waste my time. He takes out his book, he starts to learn. Suddenly his turn comes in. Million times he tells the rabbi, I'm sorry for taking your time. I know how this much every minute means to you. The rabbi tells him, relax. Olam chesed yibane. The world is built on chesed. You do your part, I'm gonna do my part. You coming here to me is also part of the tikkun. Don't think it's for nothing. Olam chesed yibane. A world of chesed. So that's what we see, the beauty of Mordechai Sharabi. That's why people used to come to him. When the Rav shows his sincerity, he wants the Talmud to come, the Talmud comes. Understand? But unfortunately, everybody has the koach, and today we don't have that. I'm telling you right now, we're missing that in our generation. We're missing that that characteristic and that magnitude that will come and open up his doors for us. And there are people with that magnitude. His successor, for example, R.Shalom Shemueli, that Rav.Mordechai Sharabi, 20 years before he passed away, gave him the mantle of Rosh Yeshiva. 20 years before you're the Rosh Yeshiva, he doesn't accept the kahal. He doesn't take people inside. You need to have that kind of neshama. And we're missing that in our generation. And that's what a Navi was. That's what a prophet was. A prophet was a man that accepted everyone. Person got sick, he wouldn't go to the doctor, he would go to the Navi. Person needed Paranasai, he would go to the Navi. Person needed Berabakai to the Navi. What's going on in my life? He will go to the Navi. We're missing that in our life. We have to pray. When we pray for Mashiach, pray also for a Navi. Now I want to tell you a couple of small tidbits about some advice from Rav.Mordechai Sharabi, and you could use this in your everyday life. Yes or no?
Yes.
Good. Health advice. Rav.Mordechai Sharabi was a health man. He was before GNC, and all these gyms and everything. He taught health through nature. And I like to share this every time in his Yortzeit about Rav.Mordechai Sharabi. So once, they asked Rav.Mordechai Sharabi if a person is anemic.
No blood.
He has low blood production, or he lost a lot of blood. They did a lot of blood transfusions for him. What could he do to cause his blood? This is early 1900s. Is what can you do to produce blood in your body? Rav.Mordechai Sharabi said that if a person eats 2 bananas a day, especially after he loses blood, it will cause him to regain all the blood that he lost on that day, And if he's anemic, it will cause him to still be healthy. Two bananas a day. All right, this is the words of Mordechai Sharabi. This is Mordechai Sharabi before all the. And he says, a person who wants to drink, what's his name, milk from a cow, mamash, the good stuff, but he doesn't have a cow. We're in New York. What should he do? 1 banana a day. You have the nutrients that you have straight from the milk of a cow. So I'm reading for you word for word. He says, R.Mordechai says, avocado. A person who eats avocado, 100% briut. You're eating 100% health. R.Mordechai said, 100% health. Alright? Eating 3 apples a day. Achilat 3 tapuchei etz. Eating 3 apples a day. Toremet rabot lechizuk haguf ulebriuto. Gives a lot of power to your body and to its health. 3 apples a day gives a lot of power, right? Now, what he says over here, a person who has constant diarrhea, constant, and it always goes from 1 day to 2 days and that, to eat 2 pieces of agasim. Agasim is pineapple. Pears, slicha. 2 pieces of pears. It stops the atzirut. You don't need Imodium, this, that, pears. Do the trick. Baruch Hashem, in the Bria, we have everything. Next, a person who has bad eyesight. A bad eyesight. What should he do? Or a person who lost his eyesight because of he was reading in the dark too much. What should he do? And they also have Rav Yosef Dayan, because he used to go a lot to Kivrei Tzadikim. There was no iPhones with flashlights back then. So what should you do? He said, Rav Dayan said, in the name of Mordechai Sharabi, to eat beef. A small piece of beef a day, it restores a person's eyesight. And whoever eats natural honey, 100% natural honey, raw honey, it restores a person's eyesight. So words are Mordechai Sharabi. Maybe we should make a separate video with the Sigul Mordechai Sharabi. What else we have over here? A person who has problems with digestion should never eat any vegetables that are not peeled. The peel of the vegetable causes very big problems to digestion. Rav Mordechai Sharabi, he himself used to suffer from this, and even his tomatoes he used to peel. Even his tomatoes used to peel, that he shouldn't suffer from digestion problems. Kafe names, drinking Nescafe, 100% mazik lebriut, 100% bad for the body and bad for the 100 Nescafe is instant coffee. Instant coffee is bad for the body. He would never drink, and he would tell everyone not to drink any Nescafe. Sabres. You know what sabres is? Cactus. Cactus fruit. He says it's the food of animals. Not to eat that. It's the food. Ma'achal be'ema is the food of animals. A woman who's pregnant, he used to give her advice to eat an etrog. So you can buy an etrog. I think they have in Bingo. They sell hundreds of etrogs. Like they have all the leftovers. They buy all the leftovers, like hundreds and hundreds of etrogs. Huh? So wash it with, they have that kind of water today. What is it called, that water? Kangen water, alkaline water. Wash it, takes off everything. All the pesticides. Back then, there was no pesticides in our Mordechai Sharabi's time, trust me. So I used to say for a woman, why? If you eat an etrog, matbiya reach tov la'ubar, it gives the child a good smell. The child will come out and he will always have a naturally good smell. He won't have issues with body odor. And he would also tell to a woman who are fasting during Kippur and Tisha B'Av to sleep in the bed and not to come to shul. I personally when I always tell my wife to fast on Yom Kippur, I don't force her to fast on any other fast when she's pregnant. Already, and all 3 of our children, she fasted on Yom Kippur. And I told her, and she knows many women that would tell her after Yom Kippur that they were pregnant. We had to break the fast. Because they would force themselves to come to shul and to hear the shofar. They think hearing the shofar is at the oraita, when it's a minhag of the yovel. It has nothing to do with thing. It's true that according to Kabbalah, Malach Memtet takes the tefillah at that time, but you could do that. I once heard a nice thing, Rav.Mordechai. Not Rav.Mordechai. What's his name? I forget his name. One big rabbi in Eretz Yisrael, he used to say a woman could do ne'ilah by opening up the oven. So I'm serious. They say that open up the oven. This is her ne'ilah. She doesn't have to come to Beit Knesset if she's gonna break her thing. So he says over here that women who are fasting should not come to shul. They should stay home and to relax and to this. And I've seen this happening in thing. Now, whoever suffers from high blood pressure, he should eat melafefonim yerukim. He should eat cucumbers, green cucumbers. It's good for high blood pressure. And he says over here, last one, a person who has diabetes. He says over here, he shouldn't. Well, this is already known, obviously, but this is in his time. He should not eat anything with sugar or salts, and it's not good over here. And he says a person who keeps his health in the way that he's supposed to keep it, and he keeps the right dietary things, he's actually mikayim a mitzvah. What's this mitzvah? So in the future, he could do more mitzvot and more mitzvot. So you see over here, Rabotai, that Rav.Mordechai Sharabi was not just mikubal, yachid bedoro, number one in Mishneh Torah. He was a health, he was a person of health, and there's more over here. There's like 20 more things over here. I'm just translating the easy ones over here, because I'm myself, you know. What else do we have over here? One last one. Wait a second. One last one. Okay. A woman who gave birth and she lost a lot of blood. If she wants an easy way to get out of the hospital, he writes over here, "Shetishte midei yom shlosha kotzot mitz gezer." She should drink every day 3 cups of carrot juice, natural carrot juice, and this will help her regain her strength, and she could get out of the hospital right away. The last one for you. Okay? So Rav.Mordechai Sharabi. Now, one last thing in the name of Rav.Mordechai Sharabi. I know I'm getting a little overtime over here, but Rav.Mordechai Sharabi, you know, I want to say so much more about him, but unfortunately I don't have the time. It's already 10:10. One last thing, Rav.Mordechai Sharabi used to say, I'm telling you this, I'm not telling you guys to get all jittery now, because this is for Talmidei Chachamim who are listening to this, that a person who doesn't learn Bet Yosef, mukhrach lavo begilgul. Okay, a person, Rav.Mordechai used to say this, person who doesn't learn Bet Yosef, not the meat. Alright, that's a given name. The Bet Yosef is the commentary on the Tur. It's the commentary on the Arba Turim. His mukhrach. This is his lashon. Mukhrach. He must come back in a Gilgul. That's what he used to say. And we should end with this pasuk. והיה בית יוסף, ובית יעקב אש, ובית יוסף להבה, ובית עשיו לקש, ומלאה הארץ דעה, ועלו מושיעים בארץ יהיו לשפוט את הר עשיו בזכות הצדיק הקדוש, the donor of this Seudah, this Hillula. She should have a lot of bracha, tzlacha, yeshua, parnasa, refuah, zivug, zera bar kayama. It should be every one of the years. Should be zocheh. You guys heard milin, razin, yakirin. You should zocheh lekol habrachot yeshua l'shem להקמת שכינתם מעפרה ולעילוש שכנת עוזנו. ברוך ה' לעולם. אמן ואמן. רבי חנן בן הקשיא אומר, עצה וצדקות יצמח ובעלם